Hello and welcome. My name is Michael Conies. I am the chairman of the Nathan Hale Day Committee of the Sons of the Revolution in the state of New York. On September 22nd, 2020, the Sons of the Revolution in the state of New York proudly commemorates the meaningful life and heroically sacrificial death of Captain Nathan Hale of the Continental Army. At the behest of General George Washington, Nathan Hale undertook the dangerous task of gathering covert intelligence about British military strength and operations in New York City. The British caught Captain Hale and summarily executed him by hanging. Before his death, Captain Hale exclaimed the immortal words, "My only regret is that I have but one life to lose for my country." Owing to the novel coronavirus pandemic, we are unable to meet this year physically in person at the statue that our society commissioned and donated to the city of New York, and which stands prominently in City Hall Park. In this virtual commemoration, however, we can and do remember and celebrate Nathan Hale as a patriotic hero who helped to gain for all Americans our precious liberty and the birth of the United States of America. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to having you join us next year in person at City Hall Park.
My name is Peter Hine. I'm the president of Sons of the Revolution in the state of New York. Our society owns and operates Fraunces Tavern Museum in 5 historic buildings in downtown Manhattan. One of those buildings, 54 Pearl Street, is the oldest surviving structure in Manhattan. It was known as Fraunces Tavern even before the days of the American Revolution. Our society seeks to perpetuate the memories of those who fought for American independence, and our museum is dedicated to telling the story of the American Revolution. One of the most well-known events of the Revolution is the capture and hanging of a young spy, Nathan Hale. We honor Nathan Hale each year on September 22, the anniversary of his death. Normally, we would be in person at City Hall Park. We'd be in front of the statue of Nathan Hale that our society, Sons of the Revolution in the state of New York, commissioned over 100 years ago. The statue was sculpted by Frederick William McManus and installed on a pedestal designed by architect Stanford White. Inscribed on the pedestal are Nathan Hale's famous words, "I regret that I have but one life to lose for my country." While we cannot gather in person this year, through this video event, let us continue to remember this American hero and his immortal words.
Good afternoon. My name is Neil Homan. I'm the most recent president of the Yale Club of New York City and a proud member of the Sons of the Revolution. And on behalf of the club today, I am honored to have the opportunity to address you. Although we're not together physically today, we stand together as a community. Over my shoulder, you see the figure of Nathan Hale standing in the old Commons ground of New York. Similar figures stand in his birthplace of Coventry, Connecticut, on the old campus at Yale University, and in front of the CIA headquarters at Langley. These locations speak to important parts of Hale's short life. Nathan Hale started at Yale at the young age of 14 and became involved in the Linonian Society. His life was shaped by passionate debates about ideals, including the rights of the colonists and the ethics of slavery. Doubtless, those great ideas he was wrapped in at Yale fed his passion for his new nation and his selfless courage. When, during the Battle of New York, a desperate General Washington sought a volunteer to scout behind British lines, Hale was the only one for this dangerous assignment. Willingly, he put his life at risk for these ideals he treasured. Together with all of you, the Yale Club commemorates the shining moment of Hale's sacrifice, as well as his life. Hale's example of courage and patriotism, even in his final moments, still shocks and impresses us today. Amidst the isolation we feel in this present pandemic, May we all be reminded of the great sacrifice that Nathan Hale was willingly prepared to make for the community of a young America still in early formation. Let us take the ideals of freedom and justice that Nathan Hale held so dearly, and each of us in our own way work towards their endurance.
Dear friends, it is a great pleasure to join with the Sons of the Revolution in the state of New York in honoring the life and legacy of Nathan Hale. Our city takes pride in the endless compassion and bravery for which our residents are known, and few have exemplified these traits more than Captain Nathan Hale. Hale courageously volunteered to serve his new nation during the American Revolution, going above and beyond the call of duty by acting as a spy on George Washington's behalf. He provided troves of valuable information to the Continental Army before he was arrested and executed by British soldiers, though not before delivering his unforgettable final words, "I only regret that I have but one life to lose for my country." In a year of unprecedented uncertainty and loss, we look to heroes like Hale for inspiration and guidance. Although we cannot gather in person this year, the bonds that unite us have never been stronger, and I applaud the Sons of the Revolution for all they do to preserve our history and ensure that Hale's noble sacrifice is never forgotten. On behalf of the City of New York, I offer my best wishes for a meaningful event and continued success. Sincerely, signed, Bill de Blasio, Mayor of the City of New York. And I just want to add my words of thanks, having participated for many years now in the ceremony. He was a great patriot, someone who is truly inspiring to all school children when they learn of his speech and the actions that he took. And I want to thank everyone for remembering him every year. Have a good day. Thank you.
My thanks to those who made this year's video commemoration a success. Michael Conies, Chairman of our Society's Nathan Hale Day Committee, William Castro, Manhattan Borough Commissioner for the New York City Department of Parks, who represented Mayor de Blasio in today's program. My thanks to the Veteran Corps of Artillery, whose color guard is at the forefront of our Nathan Hale Day commemorations year after year. So my thanks to the Veteran Corps of Artillery and their new Commandant, Colonel William McShane. Also, my thanks to Neil Holman, President of the Yale Club, whose participation recognizes that Nathan Hale was a graduate of Yale. And Colin Hunt, our Society's Events and Membership Manager, who produced this video commemoration. Thank you, Colin, for everything you've done.